What's going on, everyone? Sight Perspectives, Giofvcks here. I'm in the car, making my first round. Loaded up my office equipment. Well, some of my office equipment, some of my clothes, some things here and there. And I'm leaving Flint area and heading about an hour away, so it's pretty crazy. Now I'm still gonna be back and forth from Flint a few times a month, because family is still here, friends are still here, community is still here, and I have investments here as well. So it's like I'm invested in my community, right? So I'm just glad that I am able to have this opportunity to finally do this privilege to finally do this. And I'm listening, you can probably hear the blues behind me. I had to listen to this because this is what my grandparents always listened to when I was a kid. I always listen to blues and stuff, so it's emotional, because for me, I'm thinking about my granny, my papa, my mama, my uncle, my cousins, my great aunts and uncles, and just everybody, friends, and leaving where you was born and raised. You feel me? It's a big deal. And it's a lot of emotion that goes into it. People try to make it seem like moving out of your hometown is not a big deal, or moving away from your family or your friends, or moving out of your family's house or your parents' house, or moving out of your childhood community. People try to make it seem like it's not that big of a deal, but it is a big deal. It is a big step. And I was privileged and blessed to live in Flint, Michigan for 27 years, almost 28 years. I had that privilege. I had that privilege of being able to go to school and stay home, even though I still ended up going into $47,000 worth of student loan debt, because I went and got a master's degree. But I had the privilege of staying home. I had the privilege of seeing my grandparents. I had the privilege of being raised by them despite everything that took place. They still raised me, So I'm thinking, like, I'm leaving all of that behind, and I'm going out here on the open frontier, and this is definitely different. And it's weird because I always wanted to move, and I always had the ability to move, but I never did it. But then again, that's kind of how I feel about my transition. When I first found out about being trans, hearing the term transgender in 2011, I could have took the initiative then. And then come to find out, I'm intersex anyways. So it's like, I could have been, but some people, things happen for a reason. That's really all I'm gonna say on that one. But the move, better late than never, as they say, right? Did I cry? I did cry. But it's weird. Like, I cried, but then I was like, okay. But I'm realizing it's okay to cry, but then I'm also still in that mode of buck up, because that's what my grandparents, especially Granny, buck up. And then, Papa didn't really cry that much either. He would cry, Like, he will cry, but when I think about the toughness, Granny was always buck up. So that's how I always think. You know, I just buck up and keep it moving. Better late than never. Almost 30 and I'm finally out of the home community, right? But I'm still, like I said, I'm going to drive here at least a few times a month because, like I said, I still have investments, families, friends, people here that I love and care about. So I'll be back and forth. And I'm thankful that it's just an hour away. Because granted, my original, like, really, I can see myself moving out of the state altogether. But, like, I wouldn't be able to come a few times a month. I would probably be able to come a few times a year. You know. So that's why I make more of a conscious effort to do that. So, but that's why I'm glad that it's just an hour away. And I finally made the decision to do it. Like I told everybody on YouTube a few months ago, sometimes you just gotta leave. You know, if you're in a toxic environment or you're in a situation where you've outgrown that situation. It's not, and then two, it's also about keeping people healthy, holistically. Like, my grandmother is 75. My mom is gonna be 50. Holy shit. My mom turning 50. It's crazy. I'm turning 28. My uncle be 45. So, and we all have different health issues and then age issues. So, that's why I'm like, I want to protect her, because here I am. I work every day, you know, and I want to protect her, and I want to be able to protect my mom. You know, I want to keep people safe. But then for me, I'm protecting myself as well, because mentally I cannot be in that position. I was working from home for almost 3 months and I was going crazy being there. And granted, I have Graves' disease, IBS, basically beginning stages of Crohn's, and I'm high risk technically, but honestly, we all are high risk. But I would rather, like, bitch, my mental is more important than my physical at times, which they both need to be important. Y'all hear that in the back? This is the music we used to listen to as kids. My grandparents and my mom. What y'all know about this? You know this is what we listen to. Hey, okay, let me stop. Did you know they copyright everything? But, so, this move for me is keeping everybody healthy, holistically, right? Mentally, physically. Like, for me, I'm finally, like, in my own setup. I can be myself, openly, at home, and not have to worry about all this, you know, craziness, and with the misgendering and everything else. So, I finally did it. And I'll still take care of the other house. I mean, it's responsibilities. Like I said, I have investments. I don't talk about a lot of shit. I just do. And it's not, and I'm not trying to be cocky. I'm really not trying to be cocky or full of myself when I say that. Because I don't, you know, I get why people like to brag and be braggadocious. Because every now and then, you do need to talk your shit. But I'm a firm believer in moving silence. That's how I was raised. Everybody don't need to know what you're doing. And then on top of that, it's not, to me, being humble goes a long way. It's not necessary to brag about shit. And then two, I don't want to be bragging about shit if I'm not going to be helping other people, right? Because what's the point of you bragging about, oh, look at this, look what I can do, but are you helping other people get on? Right. But anyways, that's just a whole nother part. I'm driving on my way. I'm not a fast driver. You can thank Granny and Papa for that. They taught me how to drive. Well, actually, no. Granny was the slower driver. Papa drove fast as hell. Papa, he would be driving, and then, like, half of his hand, like, he drove like this. He didn't actually have his hand wrapped around the steering wheel. He'd be like this, and I'd be doing the same thing, but I drive like Granny as well because I drive slow. Where Papa would be doing 85, and I would be like, what the fuck? You know, and me and Granny being, my mom be like, oh shit, who told you he was driving? Who told you? And my uncle the same way. They drive fast. Where Granny drives slow. My mom can be a mixture. You know. But anyways, I'm about to cut this short. I'm gonna try to document a little bit of this move because I never thought I would be doing it. I never thought I would have the willpower, the balls, the dignity, the audacity, shit, the goal, the gumption and shit to get out here and do it. But I'm doing it. But anyways, stay tuned.